We have returned. It's time for map number 2 here. Mousesports versus SK Gaming, and it's day 3 of DreamHack Masters in Marseille. And second best 3 of the day, so still much more Counter-Strike to come, which is really good news. But this first game was just a really odd one.
Yeah.
A quick recap is on the first half of Cash, SK won the first round, then lost 13 in a row, won the last round, and then it ended up 16-10 in favor of Mousesports. So they ended up winning it, which makes sense, but
it is kind of scary. They were up 15-2 and lost 8 rounds in a row at SK before being finally able to close it out. So, and if you think back to the 2 rounds that got them to 15, I mean, they were jumping through smokes, they were pushing flanks, they were buying shotguns. And if you're Mousesports, like just put them out of their misery. This is an elimination game. You've struggled to close out games in the past. Don't give this team any hope. Certainly gave them some kind of a lifeline in that first map. But now on to Mirage. This is a map frequently that we discuss Mousesports being considered, by a lot of the pros to be, the best team in the world on Mirage. However, they did struggle as well against Valiance in this map on the first day. Another one of those 13-2 first half victories, and then allow a pretty big comeback.
Oh, and
win 16-13 right at the end.
I think there are some built-in problems that no matter how you twist and turn it, you're going to run into playing SK on this map. And one of them is Fur, keeping him under control, making sure he doesn't. His aggression on this map is very, very hard to stop. And one of the problems is if you get sucked into the mentality of thinking about how you stop Fur, then you end up playing like the wrong game. You're playing to whatever he's doing, which is very tricky, obviously. Now the other problem is someone like CORSAIR, who could be so mobile. He could be everywhere. If he can easily swap from catwalk to window to A bomb side back to B. He can really, really be mobile. And he has that similar quality, the same quality that we talked about with Nico earlier. Sometimes it feels like he just decides, I am going to win this game. We're going to take it over and we're going to be able to win it. So I would say, yeah, decent chance here that SK could have a real impact. They're going to be starting on the T side and Mousesports on the CT side. Let's see. Looks like could be some sort of B execute here.
Yeah, Fallen and CORSAIR both with nades, bolts over and Palace.
With an upgraded pistol, so he can snipe people if they try and move out. I like it.
Okay, yeah. So he wants to be able to shoot him in the head, in the back of the head and stuff as they try and rotate away. Okay, that's not bad. But on the other hand, if he misses his timing and doesn't actually see anyone, then all of a sudden you've got a pretty big investment gone to waste.
Yeah.
Still, though, we've seen this kind of a setup a number of times on pistol rounds or even on gun rounds from T-side of teams, and sometimes it's used as a fake. Throw the utility over towards B, have a couple players hit it, and a couple players coming through underpass transition over to splitting the A bomb site. So there's a lot of variation you can do, but the one thing in this round is there's been no presence anywhere. They don't have any information. They had 4 players stuck in the halls, so they don't know if maybe Oscar is pushed up towards top mid.
This must be a weird round for Mousesports.
It does make you a little bit nervous when you haven't seen anything across the map for a minute,
Yeah, very unusual. They're going to get the clue now because they're going to see the smokes landing. That Molotov, though, is a little bit interesting. Where is it going to land? If it goes to Sunny's position, then that could be a very easy way to open everything up. Trying to see if they can get in. It goes very deep in towards the jungle instead. 30 seconds left as Oscar gets a good headshot. Somehow Sunny's staying alive for a very long time. No one pushing him in just yet. The bomb has to be planted. And they are doing it, but they're down a man. SK Gaming, this is not looking very solid at all. Sunny with another headshot taking down Fallen. And now, bolts. They don't have any... Well, they have a smoke, sorry. So if they know he's up here, they can block him off almost immediately. It goes on the smoke instead. Chris going to be taking down CORSAIR. And now bolts could even do anything. He can't even see the guy who's defusing. And Chris will close out the round. That did not look very convincing for SK.
No, I mean, it's one of those things that I felt like there were a lot of moving parts to that kind of a tactic. You have this kind of push-up, you have the smokes going in these different places, you're attacking stairs, you're attacking connector and jungle, but no one's clearing out the bomb site, you're planning inside the smoke. CORSAIR didn't even take part in the hit. He just backed off of that A ramp and started circling back towards mid, so there's a lot of pieces of that didn't seem to connect at all the right places at all the right time. So,
what do you make about the fact that they buy in this round? With the bomb plant?
I would have rather have seen the AKs come out in the next round, but I mean, look at all the utility they have as well. So I mean, you can do a full-blown execute and maybe get lucky with the CZ and get them into a weird position. So we'll have to see. I guess it's the sacrifice you make. Would you rather have the utility with pistols or not the utility with AKs in the next round, right? So obviously choosing to go that route. Nade damage, chip damage under CORSAIR. Brought down to about 70. SK across the map just waiting for pushes, much like Pistol Round. They're just making sure. You talk about Fur's aggression. It looks like SK doesn't want to have to deal with anyone pushing up and finding some of those early kills.
And Mousesports are pretty active in the middle. Sunny and Oscar. I mean, last round it was Oscar just sort of, playing around in the middle, but looking in underpass, looking top mid, so they know all the time that no one's going to be there. And that does really make things easier. I mean, Robs, who's holding the CT spawn, he doesn't have to worry about the connector at all. He just has 1 or 2 positions to hold. And the same is true inside of the B-bomb site. So lessens the load a little bit on the sites. Molotov there, just to push them back as the bomb is on the other side. No one actually draws over. This is great for Mousesports. They're not moving, and Robs is going to be taking out Bolt. So now the game is up. That's the bomb dropping down. So whatever the plan was, it's gone very bad indeed.
It's almost the exact strategy I just outlined in the pistol round that you sometimes see from those setups is, some utility thrown at B as kind of a fake and then go through underpass and try and split the A bomb site. The problem is no one from SK actually went with the utility being used at the B bomb site. No one actually tried to drop in with it and even get one kill. And at this level, no one is, well, shouldn't say no one, but very rarely are going to get teams that bite on a fake that's just utility. Like usually, you're not going to budge from the A bomb site if you don't see any of your teammates dying because there's no necessarily reason to. So, that kind of a fake just kind of fell flat. Rough start for SK tactically in these first 2 rounds. Good job by Mousesports, though. Give them some credit. Hit some good shots on the pistol, and here, holding their nerve and not moving, not budging from their position.
It also helps that when they try and fake into the B-bomb side or throw the grenades in there, Chris is so close that he knows they're not down, He can verify that up close and personal, so if he was really far back, like he was holding it from kitchen with the scout, maybe he would have a harder time counting how many people had actually got in, if any.
Right. But
he definitely knew.
Well, CORSAIR with the FAMAS with the rifle. Sunny's been dinked. P250 shots in the face. And CORSAIR not able to handle the spray. Got a little bit wild there at the end. Rob's low health, but the rest of Mousesports is taking care of everything. It's just bolts. FAMAS with no armor, but he's got a couple of low HP players towards CT spawn. That would be a very nice find if he was able to mop up those 2 kills, clean them up, do some economic damage. Those are M4s as well in their hands that he could take away, but now he's been spotted. And they're not even peeking. Nice discipline from Robs and Sunny.
Yeah, no reason to give bolts really anything at this point, and it's a good shot. That spray from CORSAIR is it's like a perfect model for every FAMAS experience I've ever had.
It just goes in that T, and then he's just shooting it half an inch above his head the whole time, and just going back and forth.
I just have absolutely no idea how that gun works.
And someone like CORSAIR, you think in your head he's great at spraying, right? He can control pretty much every spray. So struggling there a little bit. 3-0 for Mousesports, but we've got guns on the board for SK. 4 AKs, the UMP, and look at this. Sunny wants to get aggressive. There's the smoke at the base of Catwalk. He's sat behind it, turned for a flash, just waiting to come through. The timing of this is everything, and actually he just sits in, and they're going to run right by him. They do find Oscar, but now it's his turn to pounce. 2 kills, and his teammate adds on top of it. A brilliant defense, and it's all over. Mousesports wipe SK from the map.
Wow. Hiding inside of the smoke. If they throw a grenade into it and it hits you, you're dead. If they bump into you, half the time people even just sort of spray for the smoke just to check it. It's not that uncommon. Just hiding inside, he comes charging out, gets 2 kills, and the round is over.
And you never really know how deep you are in it, right? If you're not as deep as you think, you're exposed and you're dead. So yeah, risky, but it pays off. The reward is there this time. Stewie gets legged, pop flash coming in, not going to be very effective. There's a small investment. Pistol armor as the losing bonus builds up for SK. Rops is going to get back towards CT spawn. Oscar missing the follow-up and just barely getting away, not going down. 5-0 Anders.
Yeah, and here's the problem. Sunny and Robs have got 8 and 6 kills consecutive. Well, and they haven't even died yet. They've got 8-0 and 6-0.
There's 3 players on SK with 0 frags.
Yeah.
And CORSAIR has 1, so nothing to write home about quite yet. The question for me now becomes, at what point does SK think this got out of control? At what point do they call for a pause? Something to talk things over. They used 3 in the first half on Cash. Maybe it's after this buy. Molotov. CORSAIR is going to have to put that out. He was on top of that. He was ready to go. And Oscar's still challenging as well.
And the wheels have really come off the wagon for SK Gaming. I I don't know how they get this back on track. Very often in the past, it has been a timeout, or it's been one of those iconic rounds from some of the star players on that team that can sort of, you know, bring it all back in line. I don't know where that grenade's meant to go.
Put a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog. I think it was meant to be lower behind the boxes, and Oscar's going to get out. So a little bit of back and forth with utility in middle. And Stico, meanwhile, pushed up into those B halls with Chris J. That's going to net them a kill. That shrinks the map. All of SK now adjusting towards A. Fallen coming through T-spawn. Fur and CORSAIR are going to be in connector. You imagine Fur's going to lead the way through, and he does. Pop flash, and is that going to get checked? There is a player on stairs, and actually Oscar has no idea. There's the frag that comes out. Sunny, he pounces. Great reaction from Fur. It's a 3-on-3, and they have an opportunity to hold this take.
That is actually an unreal reaction from Fur. Sunny had, I mean, the perfect setup to get that kill, at least get the refrag in. Now it's interesting. SK Gaming, it's about time they get on the board here. We want to see a little bit more out of them. Fur gonna get shut down. Chris will find it. CORSAIR gets one in return, and it's still a 2-on-2, and Cold is waiting for it. He knows Chris is coming. He sees the gun barrel, and he's gonna be able to take him down for the double. Robs around the corner, but Cold shutting it down with a triple, and finally something is working here for the Brazilian side. SK Gaming on the board here in map number 2, and it had to happen. The bloody for Mousesports. Oh my god.
This reaction from Fur. I mean, CORSAIR gets the triple kill and he gets the close of the round, but the opening with Fur is the key to winning that.
People don't often. I mean, there is obviously a big difference between swinging your mouse left and right because of how much your wrist can bend and stuff like that. I feel like making that kind of move inwards is much more difficult. So, in my opinion, at least.
Okay.
I don't have the science on it, Moses. I see you're looking confused. Fur, though, again, explosive in the middle, quickly turning it into a 3-on-3. Sonny and Oscar are gone from the map, but so is CORSAIR and Fur. That's a big giveaway. Rob's going to be sneaking up. Oh my god. He's just back down the hole. It's like a little rabbit. Just there it is. Comes right back out.
There we are. Good kill from Rops. Good discipline as well, not taking that fight when he's on the ladder and not wanting to go all the way up while Bolts was on top, being exposed. But next challenge is here. His teammates are pretty far away. Chris J over towards Catwalk, Stico in the B bomb site. So when does he spot? When does Rops find out that the A is the end game? He's not peeking too much towards a ramp.
Well, you have to love how he's playing this, because if he hears the bomb, then he can call in the teammates, and they've got a good setup.
Pop flash this, though, surely, or maybe just peek around at contact. Flyfall, and is there the good adjustment from Rob's going to go for more. Sprite in the corner, and he finds the head of Stewie.
What on earth? Those are 3 just great kills for Robs. First time he looked a little bit scared. He ran into Bolts. Looked like he was trespassing on, you know, what's going on.
Get off my lawn. Little scoots action.
Exactly. Well, this is all just great. I was quite happy with the idea that Robs was just waiting for the sound of the bomb plant, and then he could either challenge or he could not. But even not challenging, just saying, yeah, you know, I've got CT spawn covered. You guys take up middle, and then we'll just edge them out, you know? Just
surprised there was never any kind of peek. Getting him close, that's a dangerous game, because then they take that bomb site over, and there's no ability to start on the rotate. Then all of a sudden, SK has chances and time to get into post plants. Oscar's going to be under some pressure. A chance here to put a highlight reel together. Misses the initial shot. Sonny up above, going to use distraction from Chris J. He's going to build upon it. 2 kills for him. All that's left is hitting this B bomb site, and Stico can get into a safer place as Sonny rotates over. There's the opening kill, and Bolts is not long for this world.
Sonny's there to find the kill. Triple again for the Finnish player. A 7-1 scoreline here, and I mean the reset. It's happened again, Moses.
I know.
I'm starting to get very worried.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw it on Cash, right? Like, no matter, even if you make an incredible comeback, even if you have that ability in you, as SK and those players do, you can't start out games this far back. You're not going to win a whole lot of them. So, dire times. Their next buy needs to yield results. Well, I mean, I guess the one benefit is you know, that Mousesports doesn't have a great bank build-up. I mean, it's very strong, but I think it's only maybe 1 buy when you involve the AWPs. No one falling for Mousesports, making it look easy. Fur is the last one left. It's going to be 8-1 for Mousesports, and SK, they're going to have the AKs out. I'm assuming, actually, they won't actually be able to afford an AWP. We'll see what they bring to the table. Still, there's no timeout. I don't think we've seen a timeout from SK yet, have we?
No, now this is starting to look just slightly dysfunctional. Fallen has got 1 kill. Bolts has got 1 kill. Stewie's got 0 kills and 9 deaths.
It's not great.
No, like we're getting to the point where, like even if you're you know, a new team, new lineup, I'm perfectly fine with the fact that it might take some time, but you want to prove to yourself, even as just a test, to sort of say, as a team, we can find a way out. That
is great aggression. Really nice teamwork. Rops backing up Oscar perfectly, clearing deep into the right, and Rops is ready for the reaction. Bolts is going to come through this smoke, but he's ready for that as well. And the Molotov holding back. This is just SK just getting stumped. Mousesports seemingly has an answer for everything in this map.
This is outrageous, isn't it? Even the rifle rounds just running right into a brick wall.
I mentioned in the first map, you know, I don't recall the last time I've seen SK get beat this bad, and I know Yanko tweeted about it as well, not able to recall the last time we've seen SK like this, and I just don't. This is, like, Mousesports is making them, at the moment, look like they shouldn't even be in the Tier 1 competitions.
I remember the last time they got beat this bad. There's cash just now, Moses.
Jesus Christ. I hate you so much. It's actually unbelievable. It's the way you say it with such a smug look on your face.
Yeah, luckily the audience can't see that. So
Molotov nades out towards A ramp as I recover. No fast plays for SK.
It's the silence, isn't it, that does it. It's just the collapse and then almost no movement. There are a couple of players. It's nice to see CORSAIR hitting a shot like that. Fur has been trying. He's been having some rounds where he's been, like, you know, sort of mobile. He's been running in, getting some kills, but everything else is just dead in the water, it seems. You've gotta keep moving, Moses.
Yeah.
So that when the rescue helicopter flies over the crash, they can see that you're still alive down there and they can try and help you.
It just got real dark. Jesus. When did we get on a helicopter?
They need one, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If they could get that AWP up in the sky and just shoot over some of the walls, that'd make things a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe a triple boost or something.
Little drone, little drone strike.
Well, Fallen's got the AWP. It's not attached to a drone, and it's not flying in the sky, so we'll see what he can do with those kinds of limitations. He's going to meet Oscar very quickly, and a missed shot, and this is awkward. How do you fall back from that? And the answer is you don't. Stewie, welcome to the game. Your first frag on Sunny as mid-control goes the way of SK, and it's just snowballing out of control for here. So this round finally looks easy for the Brazilian team. Even Cold Zero. Oh, my lord. Rops.
Yeah, gets away with it. Turns around for the headshot. Surely there is no way. Somehow survives that shot as well. All alone, and they're going to hunt him down. Well, hello. Finally, SK are on the board. Well, second round at least, and this is that's the kind of style we like to see. Get in middle, take a fight, win it. Of course you can win it. You've got Fallen and Stewie fighting, so it should be great, you know.
Yeah, and Fallen even looking for the follow-up aggression from Chris J. Mousesports that round throwing bodies on the problem and not able to solve it. Rops has only died twice. He's 16-2. Stico and Chris J each dying only 3 times. This has been great, and there's the opening. Chris finds Fur with the AWP. Here's the switch up for Mousesports. We've seen him with the rifles, now a double AWP, and it's doing work. Chris J again onto Stewie, and Fallen's just got to fall back. And it seems like Mousesports just said, you know, you found something that worked with that mid-presence. We're going to deny it this time.
Great round for Chris. Absolute incredible aggression down there. Cold turning around for the flashbangs. He's going to get shot down. Robs is just unbeatable in this round, in this map indeed. And Bolts now, 1 versus 5. Mousesports, they lose a round, and their reply is a flawless round in return. Nobody goes down. Chris with a triple, Robs with a double. 11-2, and once again, wreaking havoc on the SK economy. 18-2 for Robs against SK Gaming. Whatever form they're in, that's not bad.
No, it's not at all. I think SK, yeah, this is, they just have to buy now. They need the rounds. Only Fallen is kind of saving up someone, or excuse me, Fur has 2,200. Maybe to be able to drop an AWP for the last round no matter what happens, but 3 pistols, a UMP, and an AK. I think Oscar might have spotted the shoulder. Pop flash from his teammate actually blinds him. Oscar's going to stay up, and he gets 1 flick. That's 2, he's close. Chris is there, though, with the second op. Great teamwork. Chris just saving his life and dropping bodies. They can get nowhere near Oscar. And it's a 12th round.
That was straight out of a movie, wasn't it?
That was beautiful.
Just when you think the hero's about to go down, there's a fellow friendly sniper just helping you out at the edge.
Friendly Dutch sniper.
Yeah, this is very good indeed.
And his gold AWP.
Exactly. That's what I like, Moses. I wonder if what if SK Gaming say, is the warm up done? Can we go live soon? And try and play it that way.
Just, are we live? Question mark.
Yeah. Oscar is going to be getting that kill on Fur, trying to hide inside, and Sunny, a lot of flashbangs in his eyes.
I think he's on the ladder.
100,000 lumen right there, not enjoying it at all, but his teammate's going to save him anyway. 19 and 2 at the top of the scoreboard there for Robs. Chris not far behind, Sunny as well. I mean, they hardly got any kills at all in that first. I think, am I doing the math right? I think Robs has got as many kills as the entire SK team in the first half. I think they're at 19 if you combine all of them.
Holy hell. That's unbelievable. Yeah, Rops is tied all the kills of SK built up.
I did the math real quick, Moses.
Nicely done. Congratulations.
I can add.
We're very proud of you.
I can add 5 numbers together. As long as they're all under 10, then I'm good. Get above that, it's outside my range.
It's the scary thing is Fallen, Stewie, and Bolts a combined 6 kills. That's what hurts me. Yeah. I guess, I mean, this, regardless of whether SK comes back and, like, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go that far, but regardless of what happens next, it's obvious that SK is going to have to go back to the drawing board. I mean, they haven't had a whole lot of time with this roster, and obviously the first event with it, but they need to figure something out. It feels like, you know, they're going to have to figure out a way to keep making sure that they can have CORSAIR being unlocked as the best player in the world. Obviously, he seems to be missing Taco in this early stages of this roster change, and they haven't found a way to fit Stewie yet. And it goes back to that Phelps issue when you add another aggressive player into this team, and you already have guys like Fur who want to push and be aggressive. How do you make that work if you're SK? And
they want to push and be aggressive, Moses. They did, and Oscar shut them down over at that A ramp. Fallen now missing a couple of clicks. There's one. They need more. They got to get Chris as well, and they will. Good job on Fallen, taking down the bomb. So that almost was the round lost in just one engagement, but somehow it's back. Let's see what Robs, Deco, and Sunny can do.
Well, now we're seeing is a great shot from Robs. Just the one tap. You hear it ring out across the map. This was a little disjointed from Mousesports. I think they got caught off guard by the success of those 2 kills, but you can see from here they've recovered nicely. Obviously, the kill from Rops helps, but essentially they just hit the pause button. And they're letting this flank come in. They're letting Sunny and Rops come through CT spawn. Bolts is going to go check it. I don't think he's going to be ready for this. Yeah, Rops and Sunny just eliminate him. And it's just Fur hiding on A ramp. Going to have to find his timing. They don't know where he is, but he's got to find a way to get 1 kill and be able to survive and kind of assess the situation after that. And I'm not entirely sure it's going to happen. Watching for that play, there's the 1 tap in return, and Fur has a chance.
Lightning from a clear sky, and that was a nice shot, but he's still out in the open, and he's going to go down to Sunny. There was almost no chance that was going to work. Mousesports at 14-2. Listen, well, I'll take your point, Moses. I think you're right. And I accept the fact that it's sort of a new lineup, so I'll definitely give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they've earned it over the years that, they generally have made changes, and they've ended up working very well. So I'm fine with all that. Then you just kind of wish that they would get more rounds to play with, so that when they go back to the drawing board, they have a larger sample size to look at, right? Yeah. It's a little. It's like it's hard. It would be easier maybe to isolate what some of the problems are if they could play, 3 maps. If they could play, close games on all of them, then you'd be like, oh, where did it go wrong? This seems like a more fundamental issue.
Yeah, it really does. It's just the fact it's even outside of the scoreline, right? Like a lot of these are just like, especially going back to Cash, a lot of them are just rounds where it feels like they didn't even have a chance in like whatsoever, right? Like it was just utter domination round to round to round, which is the frightening part of it. And I guess if you're a Mousesports fan at the moment, you're feeling pretty happy, but you do want to see them close this out. You don't want to see, you know, another 16-10 victory starting from 15-2 or 14-2, right? You want this team to show that they can just keep the pressure on, close it out, and move to the next match.
If you're a Mousesports fan, especially if you've been from the beginning, you deserve the patience. Like you know, you've been waiting a long time for this. Stewie getting a couple of good kills there with the CZ 75, and almost getting a third. That could have been the rundown. Chris will take him down in return, but CORSAIR there to back it up, and now there's almost no time left. Robs will get one good kill, but I don't think they can actually get the ball. Oh, maybe Fallen fighting a little bit in there. He's going to get the kill on Sunny, and Robs will go down. So good round win for SK Gaming, 13-14.
Double kill from Stewie, just aggressive on A ramp. Here they are. Spots the shadow, one of the key benefits of that position, and the CZ being the CZ, I guess, for the follow-up kill.
It is good. It's a pretty good pistol.
It's a pretty good pistol. Some might say it's not even a pistol. It's pretty good for a rifle.
Yeah.
Such a good rifle, they had to handicap it with 12 bullets.
And even that wasn't enough. Well, Chris and Oscar getting a couple of shots. Oh, no. Sunny taking down CORSAIR. This is almost criminal, Moses.
Oh, the Deagles, they all... four players with the kill, and Rops closes it out with the scout. That happened so fast. Just everyone from SK, they just moved just an inch out of their cover, out of their perch, out of their position.
We're going to have to submit this to the Counter-Strike Ethics Committee and just, like, that's just...
Does Counter-Strike actually have
they
an ethics committee on it?
Sue for emotional damages afterwards. This is unbelievable. How do you... I don't even know. SK Gaming, this is obviously not the form that we were expecting and not what we were hoping for. A lot of work is going to come into this. Listen, this is the upside, Moses. If they come back and make this team work, it's just going to be great. It's going to be a great story. That's what I'm waiting for.
I mean, I think if you look at the grand scheme, this might be kind of... I think this game might like be a nice place to signify, you know, the end of that original SK dominance. I guess, I don't know if we'd call it an era, right? But they've been pretty much the best team for the majority of the past 2 years. And they've been competitive in pretty much every single roster, every single situation. I think this might be a nice place to just draw that line and say, let's move forward to the next chapter. Let's, you know, this is going to be a great thing to look back on, but let's see what comes next and start telling that story from here.
That's quite committed from Fur. I absolutely love it. Two great deagle shots from him to get a couple of kills, and Fallen going to find Stico with the bomb. So trying to see if they can get some sort of edge, get back in it somehow. They would need to win 12 rounds in a row. This one might be possible, but road ahead is obviously quite long. It's a nice peek from Stewie. And Chris is going to be making a lot of noise running into the middle, so Bolts will have already heard it, called it out, and everyone is converging on this position. Chris can make it happen. Cold will take him down 15-4. I mean, there could be a benefit to finding that rock bottom, Moses, can't there? You know, it's only one way up at that point. You know this is where it is.
Bottom of the well?
Yeah. I know you've been searching for it for a while.
I've been trying to get out for good amount of time now. It hasn't happened yet. Still here, sat next to you.
15-4. Let's see what they can do. SK Gaming now, they have some rifles, not the best that they could have hoped for, but should be good enough for this round. They're on the CT side. Just 11 rounds in a row, Moses. It doesn't, when I say it out loud, it doesn't seem that bad. Chris is going to be going down after a quick kill there onto Fur. And now 2 versus 4.
Bolts knows that Stico's still here, and Fallen is taking care of all of his teammates, so checkmate. Next move is yours. And Bolts just pulls him into the open. No damage exchanged. Now the reinforcements are here. Even though that kill comes in, it's going to be traded. A triple kill in the round for Stewie. We highlighted him a lot when he was at 0 kills pretty deep into the game. He's up to 9 now. So he's probably shot up since the second half began a decent amount.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of, it's slightly unfair, I guess, to highlight any one player when the whole team is crashing.
Yes.
You know, it's maybe it doesn't make any sense to try and analyze the game in that way at that point.
I actually think it's entirely fair.
Oh yeah.
Well, listen,
Blame that one person.
I mean, I don't think we don't necessarily blame him for it. We just make the observation that he's at 0 kills. We make the observation when he's at 30 kills. No one complains about that. Pop kills are out here, headshots everywhere for SK, and 15-6 as they continue this climb back into it. Now they've got some money built up. They can sustain some losses. Obviously, can't lose a round, but they can lose some players and still have strong buys moving forward, which is as good as it's going to get for SK at the moment. And a 3-round losing bonus for Mousesports means they're going to have all the utility, all the AKs. No AWP though, and we saw Chris and Oscar both with some impressive ops sequences in that first half. Not able to bring that to bear yet.
Smokes, very standard going in towards the A-bomb site. Fallen going to decide to challenge it with the AWP and be risky, and Steve will take him down. That's a nice shot. Cold is going to get refragged immediately. Robs gets 2 big kills, taking down Cold and Stewie. And now Bolts and Fur, 2 versus 4. They had a little bit of a run here in the second half, but now Mousesports have said that is enough. And now the bomb down as well. I just have no idea how this could be done. Oscar's also flanking into the middle, so even if they get close to a defuse, he's going to be there to stab them right in the back. Trying to see it. If they need some sort of opening, Fur going to get one. At least he take down Robs. Any minute now. There's Oscar with the kill on Bolts, and Fur is going to go down. That's 16-6. As Mousesports knock SK out of the tournament. Big win, 2-0 against SK Gaming on LAN. They're going to be excited. That
is a phenomenal series of games, even with this small hiccup of a decent comeback on Cash. What an exclamation point that Mousesports just put out there. A lot of people's favorites to win the tournament. You can see why. That was some very beautiful gameplay in terms of just working together in small man groups as a team, and impressive individual levels from Chris J. I thought was probably the standout. Rops had some very good rounds. Sonny played well.
I think especially the ease with Chris sort of like
found entries.
Yeah, just glided in, got one tabs, just everything looked really smooth. That was just an unbelievable performance coming out of them. Can you expect them to keep playing at this level for the rest of it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to. I mean, when you also look at, I think equally the impressive level of Mousesports, is kind of countered with the fact that SK didn't look to be on top of their game. So it always brings in that worry of how much are you attributing to SK being off or Mousesports being on. But either way, they're going to be an intimidating team, and actually some people might be able to answer that a little bit better. They're chilling over at the desk, so we can bring in our friends. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. Thank you so much, Anders and Jason. Okay. Hi, Alex, Chad, Yanko. What was that? Help me out here.
We built that up to be match of the day.
We really did. Like, I got super into it. I was like, all of these questions are going to be answered, and it turns out the answers weren't too positive, actually, for the SK questions.
With our predictions, I'm more than happy to be wrong in the sense of Mousesports can continue that level of play throughout the entirety of the tournament. That is sick. Everything we saw from those players individually as a team, everything was going right. SK were just getting completely obliterated. But I have a prop here, Alex, that may demonstrate a little bit better the situation of that match. So just let me...
You're going to explain what happened?
Put my glove on here. So basically, we did have Mousesports in pure mode of destruction. SK Gaming. Right. They just, they were getting destroyed, but they tried to put up a little bit of resistance. But Mousesports were just way too strong and just continued that domination.
It is an interesting way to approach it, perhaps. Yes, I can understand exactly how things went.
It was a messy game. It's messy work.
And this was some absolute quick work from Sonny. I mean, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights, and it is just going to be where we just list every single player in the Mousesports roster as they all had their moments of heroics. Yanko, sure, a bit of a comeback on Cash, but this is probably one of the results. An offline result like this from SK is a once in a lifetime. We don't see these very often.
I have to give props to the production crew. They actually managed to find some highlights of the SK guys from Cash. I didn't think that was possible. Everything started going downhill for them since round 2, really, winning that fifth round and then falling to the force buy of Mousesports. And when you look at it, they just couldn't get anything done. Look at Bolt's 15 kills across 2 maps. He's the anchor on A on Cash, anchor on B on Mirage, and really couldn't get anything going.
So here we go. Perhaps a bit of a leap and perhaps the wrong time to do it. When they added Phelps into the roster, they added Phelps into the roster, and immediately we saw a dip in form of Fallen, which, as you can see, has quite close to Bolts at the bottom of that scoreboard. They lost a bit of their flair and found it back.
The system disappeared.
The system disappeared. They were trying to play around Phelps, integrating a new player. It cost them some results. Now they're doing the same thing, incorporating a new player, but they're doing it with a language change as well. The 4 of the players, the whole, it's quite an integral part of where your success comes from is how you communicate. That's changing as well as adding a new player. It's clear that this is going to be a long-term project if it is going to succeed.
This is the weird thing, right? The SK system was one that revolutionized the way that Counter-Strike was being played, with the theory side of things, having your support players, being ride or die like Taco. Then with the Phelps thing, it was bringing in another star potential player.
Yeah.
It wasn't someone who was going to be a role player. Stewie is a star potential player. You're putting him into that system. How is it going to fit? There's not going to be enough room for everybody, right? Now, to look at it, if it does work, fantastic. FaZe can make it work with a lot more stars. Why can't SK? That's probably what they were looking towards.
Sure.
Maybe we could go down that path. So far, obviously, first offline tournament, not looking fantastic here.
Yes, but what did look fantastic was Mousesports, and we have managed to grab a very happy Mouse player, I'm sure. Sticko has got the headset on. Martin, congratulations, you're into the playoffs.
Thank you very much, thank you. Feels
So,
great.
I mean, you have to just quickly, I'm going to give you that vague question. Explain that game to me. You just stomped SK Gaming. Let that sink in.
Well, when it comes to the veto, we didn't really plan on playing cash, but whatever, we are always ready to play it. So when we started T-side, we felt really comfortable going into the lead because we were winning rounds pretty straightforward. And it came on the other half of the T side that we actually had to manage to clutch some rounds, but we managed to do it as well. So because of that lead, we were really comfortable, even though they tried to do the comeback when we played CT side really poorly. But in the end, we were really comfortable playing all game, basically. We didn't feel any pressure.
So before I unleash my analysts on you, one more question from me, and that's just a general question of, you've played against SK before, right?
Yeah.
How did this team compare to the SK you've played in the past? What does it feel different? Do you feel less pressure? What was it?
No, it feels different. I don't know if I'm right. This was the first time we played them with Stewie, obviously, but it feels like it's less structured team. I don't know. It's just my feeling, personal feeling on these two maps that we played. So
right, less structured, a bit more chaotic.
Yeah, a bit more individual oriented. I would say.
Interesting. Perhaps we'll see more of that. Now, Chad, do you have any questions for Stick?
I'm struggling to find any because of how concise that game was.
Well,
I think maybe
general.
we can look
Have to be about
forward
the
in the tournament maybe and say, going forward now that you guys have made it to the quarterfinals and you're in the playoff section, who is the biggest threat for you? Like, obviously, we know that Astralis, Na'Vi, NIP, and Cloud9 are all through already.
Biggest threat is ourselves, obviously, but if you really want an answer, I would say probably like Fnatic or something. I don't know. We just they have really good players, and we always struggled against them. Not in online that much. I remember we 2-0 them in online leagues, but or at least in Pro League or something. But all in all, I don't feel that comfortable playing against them. But then again, it's my subjective point of view. So
of course, no, absolutely. And Fnatic are actually playing the next game versus Renegades. That was going to be an important one. Yanko, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I have a question in regards to your map pool. Obviously, you guys have Mirage and Nuke on lock, and Overpass and Cash are two maps that you didn't really play. Yesterday, you went for Overpass versus NIP. Didn't really work out. Today, you went for Cash, and I didn't think that you were putting much practice. I thought that was going to be your permaban, but you had a lot of stuff prepared. So is that the case that you actually have stuff prepared on both maps and you veto according to your opponent?
Well, I don't want to spoil our map pool or anything going into the playoff first.
Of
but
course,
I will
be
try
careful.
to. I'll try to answer it so you have something out of it as well. So because we are such a good like formation of players, we are able to play the map that we probably didn't even play before. Like, we know the basics of Counter-Strike, that's all you need to be the team. So if you're hitting your shots, then you're all set and you're good to go. But last time we played Cash on LAN, it was, I believe, on Major against Astralis in the first round of Swiss format. And we beat them like 16-2 as well, which was pretty similar game to this one, because we could have won 16-2 as well here, but we kind of choked on the CT side. But our map pool is well, we got some aces in this league.
I love it. I love it. And
I
just stop there. Stop.
Yeah,
before
okay.
before your team starts shouting at you.
Yeah,
get out of here.
They're
Get out of here.
looking bad at me already.
You get out of here. And I could look forward to seeing you guys in the playoffs in front of that big crowd. Thank you, Sticko.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. Getting to the quarterfinals. Mousesports, we said they were looking good, and this victory only enforces that. I'd love to stay and chat all about that, but we do have more Counter-Strike to be talking about. In fact, coming up after the break, we've got another one for you. You get to see the Swedes. It will be Fnatic. And Sticko's already made it clear that they are a very scary roster, one of the ones that Mousesports do fear. And up against them, you have the smiley, chirpy, nifty, and Renegades coming up after the break.
Feed Digital Pass, your exclusive